What is going on, all my fellow Diablo fans? In this video we're going to go over a Witch Doctor build which you might have seen before. It revolves around the Grin Reaper helm. This started dropping quite frequently shortly before 2.1 came out, and a lot of builds you started seeing coming out. I'm going to give you guys a slight variation, show you how effective this can be. And if you're like me, you know, I play the pet build a lot. I've been farming hours upon hours and still don't have a star medal. So we're going to give you guys a couple options you can go with until you try and get the right gear. This isn't too heavily dependent on gear, but we'll go over some of the key elements that will help you out along the way. In the meantime, we'll go over some of the skills, and then we'll recap those and explain why you guys want to go with those. Then we'll go over a couple key pieces of gear. We'll hit the Paragon points, then I'll show you this in action so you can see just how effective it is. For your skills, Corpse Spiders with Spider Queen, Plague of Toads with Rain of Toads, Acid Cloud with Blob Bomb, I'm going to make sure I say that slowly, Fetish Army with Legion of Daggers, Spirit Walk with Jaunt, Summon Zombie Dogs with Leeching Beast. And for your passives, Grave Injustice, Pierce the Veil, Spirit Vessel, and Fetish Sycophants. Now, Corpse Spiders with your Spider Queen there, as you can see, that deals 2,625% weapon damage as poison over 15 seconds. And that's you'll see, and we'll just go ahead and cast that real quick. And we actually spawn the Grin Reaper. You got the big spider that comes up there. When you're in action, and you actually saw that there, that those guys are what procs from the Grin Reaper. Those are just, you know, skeleton versions of myself. Now, one of the skills that they can cast is the Corpse Spiders. For our main attack that we will be doing, Plague of Toads with Rain of Toads. Now, this is going to proc our Fetish Sycophants very, very quickly because it has the highest tick rate, and so as you're going through, this is going to hit very rapidly, so you're going to have 10% chance of a lot of attacks coming through, so you'll actually get these fetishes up very quickly. For the other skill, and I do like to use this on my own at times, but the other skill that those skeletons are going to cast is the Acid Cloud with the Blob Bomb. And that's going to bring the cloud down, and you're going to see this little blob here that's right beside me. One thing to keep in mind, if you are casting this manually, you can only have 3 of those dancing around, I guess. You know, they're going to do 600% weapon damage as poison over 5 seconds. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can spam that if you want, if you like to do that, if you already have all of your fetishes up. So it's going to depend on how you have everything set up. Fetish Army with Legion of Daggers, because we are going to be running a Zuni set, so that this is going to be, we're going to have a ton of pets up, basically, between the spiders, between the guys following us, between the Fetish Army and the Sycophants that are all coming up. It's pretty ridiculous, and just stick around, I'll show you guys this in action. It's pretty fun to play with. Spirit Walk with Jaunt, you're going to get plenty of healing from your Leeching Beast. You could go another direction with Healing Journey, but Jaunt, just so you can get out of danger a little quicker and move around a little bit quicker for a little bit longer. And Summon Zombie Dogs with Leeching Beast, because this is going to heal you for 100% of your life on hit with every attack, so that's a good thing to keep around. For your passives, Grave Injustice, we can actually get away from this, and this is one of those things that we just kind of keep in place. You could easily go with Jungle Fortitude, you can go with Fierce Loyalty to get an extra zombie dog, you can go with Midnight Feast to get an extra zombie dog. As a matter of fact, you can go a lot of different directions. Cooldown is not that important. This does give you a little bit of life, but you can actually go another direction here. So feel free to choose any one you like here. Ones that you will want to keep is Pierce the Veil. All of your damage is increased by 20%, but your mana costs are increased by 30. The only thing that you're going to have that spends mana is the Acid Cloud, and you're going to cast this a decent amount if you want to do that manually. Next up, Spirit Vessel. This is just a good thing to have, especially if you're going to take this into Greater Rifts, because, you know, sometimes you're going to die, and it's best if you don't have to walk clear across the map. This is mainly because it gives you that extra life. And your Spirit Walk also comes around a little bit quicker. That's kind of the main reason for that. And then lastly, your Fetish Sycophants. Like I said, when you're casting, you have a chance on hit to go ahead and summon those fetishes. So that's something to keep in mind. As far as the gear goes, like I said, I am using a Doombringer because I don't have a star medal. You could easily go with the Renho Flare and use Plague of Toads, except you could probably use Piercing Toads. So these are actually going to pierce through. They're going to explode twice. You could even go with Explosive Toads if you really want to. I prefer to keep the Rain of Toads, Plague of Toads. It just feels a little bit more effective. Now with this, they are going to seek out and explode twice. So you can go either direction there. Tasker and Theo gloves. These are pretty important for most pet builds. You're going to see in the secondary, increase the attack speed of your pets by 50%. Very important there. For the Zunamasa set, we're actually running a chest piece, some boots, and the offhand. And we're running a Royal Ring of Grandeur so that we can hit that 4-piece bonus. And that's because your fetish army will last until they die. So it's good to keep those guys around. We're not worried about cooldown with this build. Swampland Waders. We're using these for our pants because they have the poison skills damage. This is pretty much split between poison and physical. So I've got physical skill damage there. I rolled fetish army damage on my chest and my shoulders. And hell, I actually rolled it on my offhand there. So that's a good thing to keep in mind when you are gearing up. So we've got quite a bit of fetish army damage and some physical damage. For the bracers, we're running the other piece of the Hills. And this gives us, I've got this one with poison skill damage because, like I said, the damage is split. So we get the 3-piece bonus there again with our Royal Ring. The Grin Reaper, the most important part of this build, chance to summon horrific mimics when attacking, and that we have already shown you. And we'll, like I said, stick around for some gameplay. We'll show you that. Amulet, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, intelligence with a socket goes a long way. This one we're using Pain Enhancer. That does quite a bit of damage. And in our Royal Ring, we actually have this, excuse the roll on that, we're using this for another build. But we do have the Enforcer. This gives your pets to do more damage, and you can level that up accordingly. For the moment, we have a Hellcat Waistguard, but certainly if you have a Witching Hour or any number of other directions you want to go, whether it be for defense or anything else, feel free to go that direction. If you're playing solo, always feel free to run a Unity. We are running this strictly for damage. On the other ring, so you can go any number of directions you want there. For your Paragon points, we're maxing our movement speed out. I don't think we had a movement speed on there. And then the rest into intelligence. Next up, offense. I was messing around with some stuff trying to see where attack speed could get, but ideally you want to hit crit hit damage first, and then you want to go crit hit chance. Since there's no real cooldown reduction necessary, you can go ahead and throw some into any direction that you want there. Just making sure, yeah, our crit hit chance is okay without putting points there. For your defense, go ahead and put some into armor first, resist all second because you're going to get resist from your intelligence. Then go ahead and throw some into life regen. Utility, I put some into resource cost reduction just so I could spam Acid Cloud. Now, the best part about the, now first off go with life on hit, and then you can go with resource cost reduction, or you can actually go the other way around. Like I said, you're only going to get 3 of these blobs up at a time. You'll see one disappears automatically. And these are going to move around within the groups. And one of the reasons why I like this build, the pets, you can get up, 8 pets from your fetish army. You can get 15 from the sycophants. You can get, another, 4 dogs there depending on the passive that you're running. So you have pets galore. The problem is most of them tend to swarm to one or two bad guys and just kind of attack. They're great for single target damage, especially rift bosses and the big bosses, I guess, regularly. They're great for single target damage. The problem is, in a lot of rifts and a lot of greater rifts, you're going to be fighting quite a few monsters at a time, which is where the extra group damage comes into play by using the Acid Cloud and having the corpse spiders up as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So stick around. We'll do some gameplay real quick so you guys can see this in action, and just hang tight. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head into, I like picking on the Butcher, and we're going to go ahead and go in here. We'll go into Act 1, we'll go ahead and get our Fetish Army up, we've got our Zombie Dogs up, and you're going to see, this is actually going to kill pretty quickly, so hopefully we get some elites going here as we go through, and let's wait for the Mimics to pop up. Let's get those. Those are the guys, you'll see the spiders getting popped out, the acid clouds being spewed everywhere. We're just getting started here, so we can go ahead, we can actually throw that up ourselves, drop a couple acid clouds up there. These narrow areas make it really hard for pets, but as you can see, we're just waltzing through here. And it doesn't take much. These things are dying so fast we can't get our fetish sycophants up. There we go. We're up to 14 already just by casting a few things. So this is a pretty remarkable build, especially if you're looking to just have a little bit of fun, a little bit of change of pace. If you've been using, you know, the default pet build, you're trying a couple different things. And here's some elites. We'll get these guys. Hopefully they'll come to the door and play with us. But if not, it's going to be really hard for the pets to get in there. We'll just make them come. There we go. We'll spawn our pets over here for fun. And you will see the mimics are casting all the acid clouds going around. You've got all these spiders everywhere. You can see them swarming. Those elites, as you can see, went down very, very quickly. A little bit of help from ourselves. Like I said, sometimes I like to cast acid cloud on there because we do have a little bit of poison damage. We've got let's see, we got 11% acid cloud damage. We've got that on the helm. You can actually roll that in a couple other places. We got fetish army damage. We got poison damage. We got physical damage. So as you can see, putting the gear in the right places, you can actually make this a very, very effective build. Just for running through here, I really don't even have to stop half the time, especially depending on how large the groups are. And just for fun, we're just going to stand here. And again, like I said, part of the allure of this build is the fact that it does a lot more area damage, and you can see as that drops, we're actually hitting quite a few at a time, as opposed to, you know, sometimes, you know, the fetishes, while they did make the AI on them quite a bit better in 2.1, they still do have their limitations in certain points. But this is a way to kind of circumvent that while also stacking plenty of damage in other places and kind of diversifying the build a little bit, and it's pretty neat. You can certainly go a couple different directions with this build if you like, especially depending on, you know, what skill damage, you know, some of your preferences. If you have a star medal, if you don't have a star medal, if you want to use the Renho flare. So that's it, guys. That's this is the build in action. We'll go ahead and hit one more elite really quick, as I will skip there now. Looks like the next elite we found, we're just going to go ahead and pick on the Butcher. Now, if you run this just with a pet build, and let's say maybe you go without zombie dogs or something like that, or maybe you go without Spirit Walk, you can certainly go with Big Bad Voodoo with the Slam Dance, which you could change your passive after that. But you can go a couple different directions. If you have Big Bad Voodoo for this, this goes a lot quicker with your pets. But as you can see, we're just going to go ahead. And you can see the Butcher just kind of dwindling ever so quickly. I don't like it when he knocks back all the pets. That's where most of my damage is coming from. Help me out, buddy. And we'll just go ahead and cast Spirit Walk there. Completely avoid that. Like I said, we disappeared for 3 seconds. There you can see we took quite a bit of damage, but we have our zombie dogs healing us very, very quickly. And sometimes this goes a little bit quicker. And like I said, if you're going with a different build, you can certainly go get this guy down a little bit quicker, especially with the pets. But that's it, guys. That is the Butcher dying for about the 800th time in my videos. So hopefully you guys like this build. If you haven't seen it before, hopefully this gives you something a little bit different direction to go with, especially if you are playing a Witch Doctor. Got a couple other options going as well. We'll go ahead and get some more videos coming soon. So feel free, if you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do that now if you want to stick around. We got lots more builds coming, and any future patches, we're going to be doing all that stuff. So stick around for all that, guys. If you have seen this already and this build, hopefully maybe the gear that we have lined up here maybe gives you a little bit different opinion on the build. I don't know. Feel free to let me know in the comments below what you think of the build, or what you think I could do differently, or some of the things that you're doing differently that seem to be a little bit more effective. And if you don't have a comment below, feel free to hit that like button below and let me know what you think that way. All those are always greatly appreciated. And as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. And happy hunting. We'll see you next time.